Heineken Champions League. A match will be held this weekend, and the French government relaxes border restrictions. European club rugby fixtures can go ahead as planned this weekend after the French government announced it was relaxing border rules, but restrictions remain in place for unvaccinated players. Gallagher Premiership clubs had threatened to boycott games in France because the travel dispensation they had been granted still included the requirement to quarantine for 48 hours and undertake a PCR test on arrival. From Friday morning, all restrictions will be dropped for vaccinated travelers, who will be allowed into the country with proof of a negative test taken 24 hours before departure. Unvaccinated players, however, will have to serve a 10-day quarantine, effectively ruling them out of playing European club games and Six Nations fixtures. England are due to play France in the final game of the championship in Paris on March 19. Newcastle Falcons fly to Biarritz on Friday for their game in the European Challenge Cup. In the Heineken Champions Cup, Bath head to La Rochelle on Saturday, before Sale Sharks travel to Clermont-Auvergne and Scarlets to Bordeaux Beagles on Sunday. European Professional Club Rugby, the tournament organizers, is yet to issue a statement, but the French government announced on Thursday morning that it had decided to ease the specific health border control measures that were decided in December for vaccinated travelers from the United Kingdom. The Prime Minister's office said the measures had been brought in on December 16, causing 7 European fixtures to be postponed at short notice, at a time when the epidemic was progressing spectacularly in the United Kingdom. Gallagher Premiership clubs have been frustrated by the lack of clarity, given that these adjustments will only come into force on the morning of the first European game of the weekend, particularly as late cancellations lead to critical lost revenue. Bristol Bears, who play at home to Stade Francais on Saturday, say they lost more than £300,000 with 2 consecutive European Cup cancellations before Christmas. "It is not until I see them at the ground that I know it's going ahead," Pat Lamb, the Bears director of rugby, said. "It is all very well saying that the last minute the game doesn't happen, but there is a cost." Rob Baxter, the Exeter Chiefs director of rugby, called for more transparency, while Bath were unclear as late as Wednesday morning whether they would be traveling for their game this weekend. By the afternoon, Alex Sanderson, sales director of rugby, revealed his club had received indications that the border would open, averting the prospect of a boycott. "We're going," he said. "From my understanding, we don't have to stay the 48 hours or PCR test, which was the worry because people would probably have got trapped in France."